Here we go again at Phoenix, Gate Charlie 3, flying for Southwest. We're getting ready to take this Boeing 737-800 down to Albuquerque on this short hop. We flew in here last night in a Beechcraft B1900 Delta night flight, so the only thing you'll see from that somewhere in this video, probably after we take off or here in a second, I'll show you that. Landing just from the cockpit, it was dark, you couldn't see anything. And then of course we'll edit back in and show the rest of this flight. So let's go ahead and jump on board right now. And while I am getting the clearance and all that good stuff, why don't you guys sit and check out this landing that I conducted last night from the Grand Canyon to Phoenix. You guys know I like to start my next flight from the destination I landed the last time, and so I didn't record that a whole flight, or I'm not putting up that whole flight, just the landing. It was dark, not much to look at. So here you go. Check it out while I get the clearance and the aircraft ready to go. Alright, so we're still pretty much direct Gillespie where he has us, and then we'll turn here. So let's monitor the aircraft, of course, and then we're going to go ahead and...
Number 350 Kilo Tango, descend and maintain 3000, airport 2 o'clock, 8 miles, report in sight.
Down to 3000, we have the airport in sight, number 350 Kilo Tango.
Number 350 Kilo Tango, cleared visual approach, runway 25 left.
Cleared visual approach, runway 25 left, 350 Kilo Tango. Alright, since we're doing that, let's go ahead and anyway, I'm going to do 110.75. 110.75.
Number 350 Kilo Tango, contact Phoenix Tower 120.9er.
Over to Phoenix Tower 120.9, number 350 Kilo Tango.
November 43 X-ray at Lassen, contact Reading Tower 111.8, have a good night.
Switch that over, of course. Phoenix Tower, November 350 Kilo Tango, visual 25 left.
350 Kilo Tango, Phoenix Tower, 25 left, clear line.
25 left, clear to land, November 350 Kilo Tango. Alright, so now we'll hit the approach, see where we're at, and we need to go ahead and start making our right turn anyway. Alright, up we go. Actually, you know what? Autopilot's coming off. First stage of flaps coming out. All right. There we go. Got our landing lights on, of course. Gears coming down.
Janet 99, he can switch to a different club code and back to 7413, contact departure. We'll switch off back to 7413 and over to departure 99.
Alright. Got our master caution on, of course. We gotta fix some stuff up here. We gotta get our auto feather armed. And we got to get our condition levers all the way up. Alright, Phoenix. This is probably the only thing we're going to show in the video is this landing for the next route, which will be Phoenix in the daytime over to Albuquerque. Alright, this is runway 25 left, of course. Alright, nice VREF here we got. And we're down. Alright, so this will be the only thing I'll probably put in the actual video. For the next flight, this will be included. Getting some wheel brakes going on here.
Reading tower number 4443 X-ray. Is that last one on ILS 34 with
we'll
Odell?
take the next taxiway.
Number 4443 X-ray in tower 34
34 good land, sir.
Let's just ease off the runway over here. Alright. So this is the flight that got us in from the Grand Canyon to Phoenix from the Grand Canyon, so that's why we'll be displaying this here.
Takeoff taxi train headed on for Windows frequency.
Okay, taxi via ramp, Charlie, this frequency, number 350 Kilo Tango. Alright. Parking brakes are released. Alright, strobes are off. Okay, this would be Cutter Aviation, some of the hangars up here that we need. Alright, passengers will be disembarking here.
Yeah, tower Alaska 690, only showing 34 right, ready for departure. Alaska 690, Seattle tower 34 right, clear for takeoff. 34 right, clear for takeoff, Alaska 690.
Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that. Clearance is received. Landing information is put in. The aircraft is loaded. Just to let you guys know, we do have about 13,000 pounds of fuel on board. And this checklist is complete. Engine start. We already verified that the pack switches are off. But if we simply want to just do that, here's the packs. They're off. We verified that already, so that's good to go. We'll announce the start
again, you're coming in Wilbur control after
ground, and we'll do all this stuff here in a second.
420 radio check.
As we're getting pushed back here. Alright, as that's completing its sequence, let's come back over to the checklist, of course. We've done pushback, engine start. Now we need to do before taxiries. We need to make sure generator 1 and 2 is on and our probe heat. We don't need any wing or anti-ice. So let's do these and then we'll check them. So generators 1 and 2 on. So let's jump up top now. Generator 1, generator 2 on. We're also going to close the APU bleed valve, the isolation valve, and we'll check all this off when we do it. Now we can also get the APU off, of course, and we can turn our recirculation fans on. I'm sorry, leave those to auto. We can turn our bleeds on. Observe the duct pressure and the bleeds are on. The packs are to auto and the recirculation fans are auto. We also now want to come up here, activate our trim air. Now here's the probe heat, and we're going to also get the window heat on. Now, let's observe up top so we don't have to come back up top other than to get our lights on. We've got everything here initialized. The only thing that we need to do is let the attendants know we're about to leave again. And that's what we're doing. Let's turn our panel lights up here just in case. Let's double check our generators. Alright, as you can see, they got the right amount of direct current volts as well as the AC amps. AC volts, let's double check Gen 2. We did all that. Alright. Now, we don't need any anti-ice. All of our probes are on. Our packs are on. We have our pressurization panel set for our cruising altitude and our landing elevation. Boy, I think we are really cooking with Crisco here. We have our APU off. This is going all the way down on this exhaust gas temperature. Once it cools all the way down, it should go all the way down, so no worries there. Let's go ahead and finish this checklist now. So, we most certainly did generators 1 and 2. They're on. Probe heat is on. We don't need wing anti-ice or engine anti-ice. Pack switch, as you notice, is to auto. We put the isolation valve to auto. The APU bleed is off. Engine start lever switch need to be in continuous. So we'll come here, continuous, continuous. Okay, back down to the checklist. We've done that. The engine start levers are in the idle position, which they are. Ground equipment is clear. You saw them take off. Okay, flap levers. Let's go ahead and get that situated. We are taking off today. If we come check our MCP, let's get our initial ref set up. Let's get our first officer side on the actual legs page, which it should be. Booyah. There we go. So we'll come over here now, and as you observe here, set up in our takeoff reference speeds and flap and trims, we are taking off at flap level 5. So let's observe the aircraft. Put this in flaps level 5. Alright, that'll be 1, 2, and 5. So this is what we're looking at, folks. Make sure it is also not only selected with our lever, which I just did, but also indicating. It's still extending to 5. And the extension should almost be done. Now it's indicated, so we can most certainly assume that those flaps are down. And then, of course, down here it's on flaps 5, set for it to be indicating flaps 5 on the gauge. That is set. Flight controls, okay, let's go ahead and check them. Alright, full up, full down, left, right. Let's look down at the rudder controls. That's also the teeler. Alright, those all work, so I would assume we can conclude that our flight checks are all good. And our lower DU display is this. But all we have to do is just come over here and take that off. Now our lower our lower display unit is empty, not reading anything. So now we can come back over here and we can check that. Guess what? Before taxi checklist is complete. Now if we come over here to our next set, it'll be takeoff, climb and cruise, descent and approach. But we still have to let ATC know that we are ready to go. Let me go over here and double check to make sure we are all good to go. 132.550. We are TARA. I can assume, based off of our location right now and leaving on runway 7 left, that we are going to take, that we are going to most certainly take Delta to Echo all the way down to either, he's going to either give us Echo 3 or Delta 1, which it should be Echo 3. So that should be a pretty simple taxi. And we're just going to go out again and get our reference point here. As you can see there, we're at D11 and Echo. So that for me is going to help me out greatly because that lets me know where I am, or I can give him the intersection of where I am. Especially this is helpful because my Navigraph is not providing a SimLink, so I don't see my aircraft moving on the chart as I should. All right, here we go. So we have
okay, ground Alaska 420 is ready to taxi with uniform.
420 short ground runway 21 taxi via Alpha.
Takeoff.
21 via Alpha. Alaska 420.
Panels here. Hit recall. There's nothing. Phoenix ground, Southwest 318, information, Mike is ready to taxi. Alright, probably trying to figure out where we're at.
Southwest 318, Phoenix ground, runway 7 left, taxi via Delta.
7 left via Delta, Southwest 318. Okay, as expected, guys, we got the prescribed taxi route, and then we'll put in our departure frequency once we get closer. Let's jump up top and let's go ahead and get our taxi lights on. And I don't believe we need our runway turn-off lights. It's daytime, everybody can see, so we'll just use the little nose wheel light and get taxi in here. Okay, folks, with no further ado, we're going to go ahead and release the parking brake. Parking brake is released. Let me make sure that sucker's all the way down. There we go. We don't want any parking brake problems, folks. Alright, here we go. Plane is ready for takeoff. Gonna get our V speeds here. About 185, or well, we'll do 200 actually, because our flap speed is okay. Alright. So we'll come here and make our turn on Delta. Flying time today is about 55 minutes. You can see I'm doing some construction over there to make the airport a little better. Okay, folks, now we're on Delta. So we are totally cruising down Delta. And like I said, Delta will go all the way down once we get next to Echo 3. That will most certainly be our turn. Alright, cruising at about 21:30 is the speed here on the field, so we're definitely doing okay there. Alright. Delta and Romeo, so we still have a ways to go.
420.
Alright.
Denver ground, Walker 169 is at the terminal short of Gulf. We're ready to taxi with X-ray.
So we'll hold short here. As you can see, that is the threshold to the runway. Alright, let's ensure
Walker 169, Denver ground.
Parking brake is set. So as promised, let's go down here now and get our departure frequency of 119 in.
25 via Golf, Walker 169.
Alright. So 119 decimal 2. And it's just easier to do it this way. Come on.
Alaska 420, contact Seattle Center 125.1.
I don't have a second pilot on board.
45.1
radios as I'm taking off, so I need to make sure I have everything set up. So 119 decimal 2. We're all set up. Now let's just go back over here and refresh ourselves on the flap speed. Alright. Flap speed for flaps 5 is 250, and we only have the MCP.
Alaska 420, so center, climb, maintain flight level 270.
We shouldn't overspeed on the flaps. And let's come over here and now look at this takeoff checklist. Before entering runway, departure runway, correct, clear, entering the runway, strobe light on, other lights transponder, after clear for takeoff, fixed landing lights on, thrust levers approximately 40% N1. So we're going to do all that. Phoenix Tower, Southwest 318, holding short runway 7 left, it's ready for departure.
Southwest 318, Phoenix Tower, runway 7 left, clear for takeoff.
7 left, clear for takeoff, Southwest 318. Alright, so now, let's verify this. Let's get our strobes on. We're going to get everything on, so let's go ahead and just turn our landing lights on, runway turning lights off, and of course, our strobes up. Alright, so that's all checked. Other lights as needed. Transponder is already TARA after clear for takeoff. Fixed landing lights we did. Now we just need to come over here. We're going to make sure N1 once we get on, and we'll hit Togo. Pitch up to 15 degrees, positive climb. Okay, obviously we cannot do all that and fly, so we're just going to assume we're going to do all that. Okay, folks. Parking brake is off. Look deep and down. No aircraft inbound. Alright, and no aircraft inbound. Let's look back. Okay, we're good to go, folks. Alright, before we hit the runway, we're going auto throttle Auto throttles on. Boy, I cannot talk today. Must just be the excitement of flying this aircraft. Alright, we're turning on the runway 7 left. Let's line this wonderful Southwest 737-800 up with this runway and do exactly what we need to do here. Alright. We are lined up. Parking brakes on. Let's go N1 40%. 40% stabilize. Takeoff. There we go. We don't want to redline it. Alright, give me a couple up at 80 knots.
V1 rotate.
Off the deck we go. Positive rate. Gears up. Alright, bringing the power back slightly.
400.
Alright. Okay. Track IR is getting ready to jump on here for a second. Alright, now we're going to activate lateral navigation. We're going to go autopilot. We're going to go level change. We're going flaps up. And now I'm going to increase the speed to at least 215. And we'll go 220. Alright, so we got one stage of flaps up already, folks. I'm also going to put the landing gear in the full off position. As you see, I'm going to put the RTO up. Let's verify we are on course heading, which we are. Alright, aircraft is reaching its speed.
2500.
We're going flaps up. And of course, our initial altitude is 8,000, so let's do level change. And we're going flaps up all the way and clean. Up for a speed of 250 knots. Alright. Here in a second we'll go over to departure. We're at direct Forpe now. Alright, let's finish our takeoff. We did
Southwest 318, contact departure.
over to departure, Southwest 318. Okay, let's go over to departure. Let's verify what altitude we're going to have. Phoenix departure, Southwest 318, 5,000, climb in via SID.
Southwest 318, Phoenix departure, radar contact, climb and maintain, flight level 210.
Up to flight level 210, Southwest 318. Alright, so we're going to go to flight level 210. The only thing I would say that I messed up is I thought even though we did the checklist, that I had set the correct altitude in the altimeter or in the altitude MCP setting here. Wasn't a big deal, I got onto it, but yet that was a mistake, so shame on me, folks. You know what, I'll do a few push-ups for you guys. I love doing push-ups. For making that mistake, we're at 7,000. Let's go ahead and turn our taxi and runway lights off, but not our landing lights. Let's go back down to the checklist. Landing gear is up. You guys saw me do that above 400 feet. Roll mode, select it, verify, which we already did. Flaps are retracted. After flaps and slats retracted, VNAV mode is set, which we're on autopilot. Autopilot's on. Engine start switches as needed. We'll keep them on continuous. The auto brake, as you guys saw, was off. Landing gear level is off.
Tower 169,
Checklist
ready to
is
runway 25.
complete.
Falcon
Folks,
169 tower, 114010, runway 25, clear for takeoff. Clear for takeoff, runway 5, Walker 169. Southwest 318, contact Kirky Center 134.32.
observe the aircraft is already pitching down on its own since we set up the MCP correctly. And our
Denver Center, Walker
speed
129 at flight level 320.
is going to be here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it over to speed. Well, it's not letting me because we're on VNAV. So I'll just let it do its thing, even though generally I would monitor the speed here, but I'm not going to, so I'm going to let it do VNAV. And if we need to slow down slightly, we will. In the meantime, let's go ahead and start getting our landing checks going. Let me observe
Watch 424, one approved charger, expect visual approach runway 28 left.
ILS frequencies are for that particular runway. Since I am expecting the visual, however, still getting my visual cues together, and that's why I still put in the frequency. So the ILS there is 111.9. Alright, so we're going to come here, and we're going to type in 111.9er, and we'll switch it. It didn't like that. 111.9. Maybe it doesn't like it yet, simply because it's not in the I don't have it in the system yet, so we'll I'll figure it out. Once we get here and get turned, I'll put it back in the heading mode. And we got to look. We might have to, yep, some draggers required as anticipated. So I'm going to go over here. Now I have the speed brakes armed. You're going to, not only are they armed, I have them out and open. So right now the aircraft is slowing down to meet the mark where the, now I'm going to put them into full brakes. All right. We're still decreasing speed, which is good. Now let me increase the range on our readout here. Alright, we are still decreasing speed. Okie dokie. Alright, so we have our parking, we're slowing down. Just to let you guys know, we have more than enough runway to land on. So we're not going to do any crazy brakes today. We're just going to bring it to brake level 2 since the runway is 13,793 feet.
Runway 21 left,
If we
taxi
stop a little bit
Delta,
faster,
cross
that will
runway
allow us to
30.
save a little bit fuel on the taxi. So we're not going to get overly aggressive on the taxi stop. However, we are most certainly going to you know, give us a nice stop so that we don't waste too much fuel on the taxi, and I'm sure the company Southwest will be elated by that, so that they know we're not wasting their fuel and that we're doing the right thing. Okay, I'll give them the descent.
As you can see, we are descending. Seatbelt signs.
Coming over here to our checklist.
Please return your seat. Keep your seatbelt fastened for the main.
All right, landing altitude. We verified that already. System Annunciator. We'll do a recall right now.
Safe and pleasant journey to your final
All right,
destination.
Annunciator looks good.
Thank you.
All right, the VREF we have not entered yet, so let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, so initial ref, VREF. So the winds are at 8 knots, not entirely fast. I don't think we need to land this slow, so maybe we can come in just to make sure it's a nice, smooth, controlled landing. We're going to pick this for our VREF. And of course, for our V approach, we're going to add the 5, 130. Okay, but remember it was 8 knots, so we have to add another 3. So 133 is going to be our V approach speed, folks, as you guys saw that. And we'll also tune into the ATIS so you can see that. Now that we have made our turn straight, I'm going to square up the heading. It's always tricky to where it should be. put it on heading select. Notice no change. I got the brakes back out again shortly. Now we can come over here and we can most certainly put in our arrival. All right. Sir, there we go. So we're going to do the arrival and we're going to do the ILS 8.
Southwest 318, back to Albuquerque approach 123.9er.
Albuquerque approach 123.9 for Southwest 318. All right, 123.9.
Alaska 420, turn 5 degrees left, vector visual approach, descend and maintain 6
Again, I already have Delta from the readout. Albuquerque approach, Southwest 318 is 16,200, sending via the Kirkby arrival with information Delta on board.
Southwest 318, Albuquerque approach, roger. Information echoes, current altimeter 3005, cleared ILS runway 8 approach.
Echo is current, altimeter 3005, cleared ILS 8 approach for Southwest 318. Alright, so it looks like it wasn't current, but that's okay. He gave us that information, it doesn't matter. There we go. We got the altimeters all set up. And we are still descending. Let's go ahead and jump out those brakes again. Alright, now, once again, let's get back down here and execute. After UNSAR, then we most certainly want GLOB. So we're going to type that right in. Oh yeah. Now we're going to most certainly put the aircraft back in LNAV. And we are going to continue our descent. Alright, coming up on 14,000 feet. So let's just keep ensuring that the aircraft is slowing down as it should. Now what we want to do is come and look at our ILS frequencies. 110.75. It's not it. It's supposed to be 111.9. Let's see. Okay, let me see. Let's just clear that out. There we go. Okay, now we want to do 111.9. Now that's in there, folks. Now don't forget, we also have to put our final approach course of 79 in. Sorry about that. Yep, so we're cooking in there. We're still trying to slow ourselves down here. Alright, so approach course is 79. How ironic is that? It's not that much different than it was coming the other way. Alright, folks, looks like we're not doing too bad. We got everything set up here. There's 8,000 on the MCP. And then GLOB is at 7,200.
Alaska 420 to maintain 4,000, airport 1 o'clock, 20 miles, reporting set.
Below 7,200.
Going to maintain 4,000, we got the airport in sight,
This down to 6,300.
Alaska 420, cleared visual approach, only 28 left.
Clear for the visual, 28 left, Alaska 420.
So that the aircraft knows what to do. So 6,300, that'll be where we are hitting our last point. And of course, once we get approaching past this point, I'm going to hit approach mode because we should be catching the ILS right about here. So actually, once we get about right here, I'll put it into approach mode and we'll catch the ILS. We're still trying to keep the speeds where they need to be. Still got that breakout, but we're still over speeding. Alright, folks, without further ado, let's go up top and get our landing lights on. We're about to be crossing 10,000. Now let's go to the checklist. Landing altitude, verify recall. Approach rough page, we're done. Radio barrel minimums, we're done. Navigation radio is set. Auto brake is as needed. And the descent checklist is complete. Let's go to the approach. And we'll get ready to do all this stuff. Ground proximity flap inhibit. At or above 10,000. We don't need to worry about that. Fixed landing light is on. We already got that. Passenger sign is needed. Good. At translation level, altimeter set. And we are updating all the information. Alright. Now I am allowing the aircraft to do what is needed. We're gonna decel here some more. Let's hit the localizer on. We got landing lights on. Alright, auto brake is to number 2. We have this arm. Landing lights are on. MCP is set up. Let's get our heading set up just to be on the safe side of 79. We have our VOR localizer already established. And once again, folks, we already know what the speed is going to be. So I want to go ahead and take over the speed now. And we still have our descent to 6,300. All right. That's where we should be. Our localizer should be picking up here in a second. So, we're still making our turn. There we go. We got the localizer, thank goodness. Even though this wasn't, there seems to be a discrepancy there. I don't know what's going on with that, but we still got it. So we're going to put it in approach mode now so that we can pick up the glide slope when we need to.
Prescott Tower, Cessna 233, Mike Echo, hold shut runway 21 left at Delta 7, ready for departure. 222 Mike Echo, Prescott Tower, turn left heading 200, runway 21 left, clear for takeoff.
So let's get it before
left turn 200, over 21 left, clear for takeoff, 3 Mike Echo. Left 420, Capitol Tower, 120.9er. 20.9er, left 420.
23. So we have the
Alaska 420 correction, that's 123.77.
There's the runway there.
23.77 Alaska 420.
To our approach speed.
Southwest 318, contact Albuquerque Tower 120.3.
Okay, Albuquerque Tower 120.3 for Southwest 318. Alright. Let's start going flaps down to 5.
Portland Tower, Alaska 420 is on the visual for 28 left. That's 420 Portland Tower, runway 28 left, clear to land runway 3305. Clear to land runway 28 left, Alaska 420.
Albuquerque Tower, Southwest 318 on the on the ILS for runway 8.
Southwest 318, Albuquerque Tower, wind 17010, runway 8, clear to land.
Runway 8 cleared to land for Southwest 318. Alright, everything's happening here quick. Let's get our speed down, of course. Our gears down. We're going to go down to flaps 30. That's what we're doing. Alright, flaps 30 is established. I want you guys to see 3 green, gear down, flaps are down. Alright. Alright, coming off.
1,000.
Alright. Auto throttle is off. Alright, coming down on the speed.
500.
Light slow.
Alright.
400.
Light slow.
There we go. Don't worry about the glide slope. We're just slightly off.
Slow.
200.
Slow. Light slow.
100.
Light slow. Light
50.
slow.
40. 30. 20. 10.
Alright. We are down.
Number 3 Mike Echo, contact me departure.
Reverser's on.
Number departure, 3 Mike Echo.
Alright. Very interesting
Departure,
approach.
Cessna 233
Alright.
Mike Echo,
Reverse
6,500 climbing 10,000 to 00 heading.
Alright.
233 Mike
There we
Echo,
go.
Phoenix departure, radar contact.
Ooh, wiggling a little here. Alright. We do have the
Southwest
wheel brakes
318 is the
on.
left unable taxi via Alpha to the ramp, main frequency.
Alpha to the ramp, this frequency, Southwest 318. Thanks for all your service. We'll see you next time. Alright.
Alaska 420 exit right one able taxi via Bravo, remain this frequency.
Alright, folks.
Be careful, as items may have
Chat guy did jump on.
Enable and Bravo to the ramp.
A little bit of a sloppy approach onto the runway. We still landed right in the middle. We got kind of wig-waggly. That's not even a word, but I make it up. My wife gets mad all the time. We got kind of shaky there.
Skyhawk 1720 Papa.
Not the best.
Number 1720 Papa, Flagstaff Tower. 1720 Papa, we are 11 miles to the southeast, inbound for landing.
Break on
and
here
we have
for a
information.
second. Alright, let's make sure our everything is up. Flaps are up.
1720 Papa, enter left downwind, runway 21, clear to land.
Up here now, let's get our APU on.
Left downwind for 21, clear to land for 1720 Papa.
We'll turn our turnout
Number 3
lights
Mike
off.
Echo,
We'll get
reaching
our strobes down to steady.
9,500, cleared direct,
Alright, folks.
Phoenix VOR.
Let's go ahead now.
Reaching 9,500, direct, Phoenix VOR. 3 Mike
Park
Echo.
break off. And taxi in. You guys know the gate that we're looking for, so we should be taking Alpha to basically Charlie. Alright. Pretty enjoyable flight for me. You know, a lot of stuff happens very quickly in this aircraft, and you really do need a second pilot to get to the checklist, to make sure you're lined up, switch the radios. There's a lot going on, but I tell you what, it's very interesting to just somewhat try to manage it all yourself, so I'm pretty proud of that with the landing, so I give myself a little bit of break. The fact that I did land the aircraft appropriately with my settings on X-Plane realistic settings, that's great. I'll go back and try to look and analyze what the feet per minute was on touchdown, or FPS, FPM, FPS, whatever they call it, so we can see if we had a buttered landing and that we didn't kill the landing gear. Let's taxi on in nice and easy. We're at the 30 knot speed limit. Up 31, we're speeding slightly. Get a little bit of those brakes on there. Alright, and we'll keep taxiing down. I think we did pretty good on our flying time today. Very short route into the Albuquerque area.